All right, I think we've been putting this off long enough, but let's start adding some testimonials, right? So in here somewhere, we had the testimonials. I think I deleted it, but we wanted to add in testimonials to the website. So let's do that. And we're just going to go down to this section right here. We're going to click add row. We're going to add a row there. We're going to click add element. We're going to scroll down to the reviews. These are the custom areas. And now we've got the customer testimonials area, and we've got a review widget. Let's go over here on the advanced side. We've got visibility for what it looks like with desktop or mobile. But that's not very exciting. So where are the reviews? Let's get in here and show you where you can configure the reviews. You don't do it actually in the website builder. You do it in the review area. So let's get into there. Before you can actually display reviews, then it kind of makes sense that you need some reviews to actually to display. So you have to request reviews from your current clients, past clients, and things like that. So over here, up at the top on the left-hand side, let's start there. We've got reputation. And then on the top, we've got overview, requests, reviews, and widgets. So we're going to go to reviews and requests. And you notice you don't have any reviews yet. So you have to request some. Before you can request some, you have to configure it. And honestly, if you don't know how to do this, there is going to be a full training on how to configure this. So if it hasn't been configured already, you may want to skip over this area for later on. Again, this training is not meant to teach you how to set up the review requests. This is mostly just how to add it to the website, right? So you would have a list of reviews here, and then your widgets would be here. And this is where you could add the review request widget right to your website, or your testimonials right to your website, right? And they've got a bunch of different templates that you can choose from. But let's go into the overview and requests. And if you notice here, start by setting up your review, and there's a link. So you click that link. And again, we're not going to have a full training on how to do this, but you can pull in your reviews from your Google My Business account or from your Facebook account, or you can do a custom link. And this is you're using like Trustpilot or something like that. Then you would set up your subject line, and this is where you're going to request via email for somebody to provide you a review. And we also have text message options. And then you can customize the widget and things like that. So once you have all this configured, and again, there's going to be another training on how to configure all this, but once you've got all this configured and you send out a review and you get a review, then that review, as long as you've got the widget on your website, it'll automatically show up on your website. So not a whole lot you have to do except for do this whole configuration. So if you haven't gone through this training, I believe that's going to be chapter 8 or chapter 9. So go through chapter 8 or chapter 9 on how to build out your review requests. Let's go back to the website there. And honestly, there's nothing else you need to do besides that, because the software does everything for you. So go back to websites and click here. So there's where the testimonials show up. And they'll just show up automatically. Now, some people are saying, well, I don't want any of my 2, 3, or 1-star reviews showing up. I only want 1-star and 4-star reviews showing up. Well, if you've got 1, 2, or 3-star reviews and you don't want them showing up, then don't put testimonials on here this way. If you want to put testimonials on manually and just put your 4 and 5-star reviews, or just maybe a testimonial, you can do that, but you cannot use the review widget. You have to type it in manually. And you would do that the same way that we built out these. Instead of typing in life insurance, you would just put in a button, you would say review from Matt or whatever, review from Sally. And she, agent was so helpful and blah, 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 whatever the review is, right? The whole point of this is to automate the Google reviews and the Facebook reviews that are coming in and put them automatically on your website. Now, why do you have to include your 1, 2, and 3-star reviews? Because if you don't, that's called what's known as review gating. And you're kind of, being a bouncer and only letting in the good reviews. And Google does not allow that. If you want to use their review widget, then you have to play by their rules. If you don't play by their rules, and a couple of the rules are A, you're not allowed to review gate, and B, you're not allowed to buy reviews. So they have to be honest reviews from real clients. You can't have friends, family, and neighbors do it, and if they're not clients of yours, right? So just be aware of that. There are rules and regulations, and if you get caught, you could lose your Google My Business account or even your Facebook account if you're doing it on Facebook. Facebook has very similar rules. So client testimonials are kind of a touchy subject. If you wanted to just use client testimonials without the review widget, then that's pretty simple. I'll just add another section in here, and I'll just add a headline. And then I'll add a subheadline and maybe a paragraph. And I'll put client testimonials. And then whatever their review is, you just type it in here. Jeff provided me excelente. Okay. Change that guy's first name. There you go. Right. And you might want to put this into a 2-column. So let's put this on a 2-row, single row here. And the client testimonial section will be here. And then we would want to add another row. Let's just take this one out because we're not going to use it right now. And then we would add this and this and this. Oops, wrong one. 3 is good. And then you would just write the next one and write the next one, change up the padding, just like we did up here, right? So works kind of the same way. You probably don't need the full background like we did on this one, but you could probably just have it as the text. You want to play around with this positioning. Typically when you're doing, you give the quote at the top and then the person that did it and their city and state. But play around with it, see what you look like is from a standardization. Let's say Jennifer W, and this one it was Scott. And then you might want to put Raleigh. So now we've got 3 different testimonials there, and just click and save that. All right, what's next? The next one is we need to start building a footer. So this page is almost done, guys. Get that out of the way. Got the testimonials out of the way. So now we need to build this footer. We're probably not going to build a footer that is as complex as this, but we'll take a look at some footers and we'll make some decisions. All right, join me in the next one. We're almost done this page.